Let's begin with a question. Why does nature keep repeating the same shapes? Look closely at the spirals of a sunflower, the hexagons of a honeycomb, or the elegant whorls of a seashell. These are not random accidents. They follow precise mathematical ratios like the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. To the ancients, this wasn't just math. It was proof that the universe was built upon order, that there was a hidden architecture guiding everything from the growth of plants to the movements of galaxies. Sacred geometry is the attempt to decode that architecture. The story often begins with the simplest possible form, the circle. In every culture, the circle has symbolized unity, infinity, and the divine. But when one circle is joined by another of equal size, something extraordinary happens. The overlapping shapes form the Vesica Piscis, an almond-like figure that has been interpreted as the womb of creation, the intersection between spirit and matter, heaven and earth. It's from this humble beginning that the entire language of sacred geometry unfolds. Now imagine expanding this further. Draw another circle, then another, and soon, a pattern emerges that is both mesmerizing and profound. This is the flower of life, one of the most recognized symbols of sacred geometry. Found carved into the walls of the Temple of Osiris in Abydos, Egypt, and etched into sacred sites across the world, the flower of life is more than just decoration. It contains within it every fundamental shape of geometry. The Platonic solids, the cube, the tetrahedron, the dodecahedron, forms that are said to be the building blocks of reality itself. To look at the flower of life is to glimpse the DNA of creation. But why did ancient cultures revere these patterns so deeply? Because they believed geometry wasn't just abstract. It was alive. Numbers and shapes carried vibrational power, and by aligning with them, humans could connect to the divine order of the cosmos. Think about it. The pyramids of Giza are not random piles of stone. Their proportions encode the golden ratio and align perfectly with the stars of Orion's belt. Stonehenge, with its concentric circles, reflects lunar and solar cycles, serving as both temple and cosmic calendar. Even Gothic cathedrals in Europe, with their rose windows echoing the flower of life, were designed to bring worshippers into resonance with higher realms of consciousness. Let's zoom in on the golden ratio, also called phi, approximately 1.618. This number appears everywhere once you start looking, in the spirals of seashells, in the branching of trees, in the proportions of the human body, even in the arms of galaxies spinning in the cosmos. The Parthenon in Athens, Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, and the pyramids all encode this ratio. Why? Because to the ancients, phi represented harmony, balance, and perfection. If you wanted to reflect the divine in your art, architecture, or even music, you used phi. But sacred geometry goes even deeper than architecture or nature. It touches on the very mysteries of consciousness. Take the concept of the Merkaba, for example, two interlocking tetrahedrons forming a star shape, said to be a vehicle of light that connects the human spirit to higher dimensions. Ancient mystics claimed that meditating on the Merkaba allowed them to transcend the physical world and travel spiritually across realms. Whether symbolic or literal, the Merkaba represents the belief that geometry is not just a pattern in stone, but a path to enlightenment. And then there's the concept of fractals, patterns that repeat endlessly at different scales. Sacred geometry anticipated this modern mathematical discovery. The idea that a tiny fern leaf mirrors the entire plant, or that a single drop of water reflects the whole ocean, resonates with the mystical principle. As above, so below. The microcosm and the macrocosm are mirrors of each other, united by repeating geometric codes. Let's pause here and reflect. If sacred geometry is everywhere, in nature, in our bodies, in ancient temples, what does that mean about reality itself? Is the universe a vast living organism, growing and evolving through geometric laws? Is geometry the bridge between science and spirituality, between physics and metaphysics? These are the questions that sacred geometry invites us to explore. Now let's take a tour around the world to see how different cultures encoded this wisdom. In Egypt, the flower of life is etched with perfect precision into the walls at Abydos, as if to declare, "This is the key." In India, yantras, geometric diagrams used in meditation, represent the universe and the divine feminine energy. The Sri Yantra, composed of interlocking triangles, is said to map the path from the material world to ultimate enlightenment. In Islamic art, sacred geometry expresses itself through breathtaking tile patterns, intricate star lattices, and arabesques that decorate mosques. These weren't just beautiful designs, they were visual prayers, meditations on unity, infinity, and the divine order of creation. Even in Mesoamerica, the Mayan pyramids at Chichen Itza reveal astonishing precision in their design. During the equinox, the sun casts a shadow that creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid steps, a perfect geometric alignment between architecture, astronomy, and myth. Sacred geometry was, quite literally, the language of the gods, spoken in stone. But the fascination with sacred geometry didn't end with the ancients. During the Renaissance, thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci and Johannes Kepler revived the study of these patterns. Da Vinci obsessively sketched the flower of life, exploring its hidden ratios. Kepler studied the Platonic solids and their relationship to planetary orbits. Even Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics, was deeply influenced by geometric symbolism. They saw geometry not as cold mathematics, but as a divine fingerprint woven into the cosmos. Fast forward to today, and sacred geometry is still alive. In quantum physics, in architecture, in spiritual practices, scientists now recognize fractals, chaos theory, and the holographic nature of the universe, concepts that echo ancient geometric wisdom. Meanwhile, seekers and meditators use mandalas, yantras, and geometric visualizations to align body and spirit. Sacred geometry is no longer confined to dusty temples. It's part of modern science, art, and spirituality. And here's where the esoteric math comes in. Numbers like pi, phi, and the square root of 2 appear again and again in nature and architecture. To the mystics, these weren't just numbers, they were portals. By working with them, by embodying their rhythms, one could harmonize with the deeper laws of the universe. That's why initiates in mystery schools were taught geometry before philosophy or theology. To understand God, you first had to understand the perfection of the circle, the harmony of the triangle, the mystery of the spiral. But let's make this personal. Look at your own body. Stretch out your arms and notice that your height is roughly equal to the span of your arms, a square within a circle. Just like Leonardo's Vitruvian Man, the bones in your fingers follow Fibonacci proportions. Your very DNA, the spiral staircase of life, follows geometric ratios. You are sacred geometry. You are the living expression of the cosmic blueprint. So, is sacred geometry the ultimate key to understanding the universe? That depends on how you look at it. To scientists, it's a fascinating expression of mathematical laws. To mystics, it's a doorway to the divine. To artists and architects, it's an endless source of beauty and proportion. But maybe, just maybe, it's all of these at once. The hidden code that unites matter and spirit, science and magic, body and soul. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Feel free to share it with a friend who loves a good mystery. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you won't miss the next story. There's a lot more to uncover, and I'd love to have you along for the journey.